Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, if you're trying to get into real estate investing, okay, because there's a big opportunity that's happening for a lot of people, but they can't get access to funding. Well, one of the things I would tell you to do is go for a business line of credit. Do not go for a loan, especially with the banks. And here's the reason why. With most of your major banks, when it comes to loans, it's too much red tape. Okay, and they want you to be in business anywhere from 18 months up to 2 years in order to get a business loan. So that's the reason I tell people, do not go for a business loan. Go for a business line of credit. Now, with your major financial institutions, what they want to do, they want to issue you out a business credit card first. And the reason they do that is to see if you actually will manage their credit card. Now, with some financial institutions, say like a U.S. bank, once they give you a business credit card, every 6 months is an automatic increase, long as you're making your payments on time and they see that there's actual business activity going on in your business bank account. All right, just to give you an example. But one of the things I keep telling you guys is, if you're trying to raise funding, always start with the business credit cards. If the banker asks you how much you're looking for, you always ask, what is the maximum they're willing to give me? Okay, and yes, you can get business credit cards with a new business. Now, in reference to business lines of credit for a new business, it just depends on the credit score. Now, in terms of if you have a good credit score, then you may want to look at BHG, because with BHG, if you have at least a 700 plus credit score, they will give you a business line of credit right off the bat. Okay, so that's just one example. But if you're trying to get a business line of credit, but your credit isn't perfect, then here's the lenders that I would actually look at. Now, the first one is American Express business line of credit. Now, with American Express business line of credit, it goes from $2,000 up to $250,000. Now, the good thing about it is, in order for you to get access to this, you have to already have, you don't have to have a account with American Express in order to get their business line of credit. Let me retract that, okay? But what it is that it will benefit you more if you had an account with them, credit cards with them already. Now, here's the interesting thing about it with their business line of credit. Like I said, it goes from $2,000 up to $250,000. No hard pull on the credit file. You have to have at least a 640 credit score though, okay? And you pay back on a monthly. Like with some lenders, they want you to pay back on a daily or weekly or monthly. With American Express, it's on a monthly repay. All right, so that's the first one. Then the second one, let's go inbox 500 credit score, have to be at least 3 months in business, and the business annual revenue has to be at least $25,000. Okay, now some people say you have to have at least $50,000 with Fundbox. If any of you guys have ever dealt with Fundbox and got a business line of credit from, put a comment below. Let me know what it is that you've actually done with them. Now, the next lender is a nonprofit, which is Axion. Now, with Axion, the interesting thing about it, American Express gave Axion millions of dollars to help small businesses as well. Okay, now with Axion, you need at least a 576, averaging about a 576 credit score. You can't have any bankruptcies for the past 2 years. Okay, and also in reference to personal debt, they don't want you to have over $3,000 in open revolving debt. Okay, now that doesn't say that they won't work with you, but they will minimize the amount of funding that you're willing to get. Now, before I talk about these other creditors, I definitely want to tell you there's several places that you can start into real estate. Okay, so you have your REITs, which is your real estate investment trust, basically with the stock market and stuff. So they don't want to handle the day-to-day operations of dealing with customers and stuff like that, or dealing with not customers, but dealing with tenants and stuff. So they are rather invest in REITs. Now you have your people that do the buy and flip. Now with those people, they're looking always for like short-term contracts. Now I'll tell you one thing that you actually could do to get into real estate. If you don't have any money, you may want to consider doing the bird dogging for some of these people. And here's a secret that you can actually use. The county has these records, all right? I forget the name of it, but I talked about it in another video. But what it is that with these county records, these are properties that have been under siege by the county and stuff like that, all right? Or they're about to be lost to the county and stuff. So with these county records, you can get that list for free. You can get that list for free. And all these people that say, I buy houses, I buy ugly houses and stuff, you can call them and say, hey, what are your criteria in terms of a property and stuff? And then what you can do, you can reach out to the property owner and let them know, hey, I have a buyer for your property. You're in the process of losing it anyway. You know, I have somebody that would like to take the opportunity to possibly purchase the property, okay? Granted, this doesn't bring you in as much money as you actually buying real estate yourself, but if you broke and you really want to get into real estate, doing something like that with the bird dogging, you definitely have a higher chance because you're starting to know the community. You know what's going on in the community. You start to know what's happening, and so by those companies that don't want to do the legwork and stuff, you doing the legwork, they will compensate you for that. All right, so that's another way to get into real estate instead of the buy and flip. You know, if you're doing the buy and flip, places that you want to do is again your local city tax records, tax liens, and things of that nature. For many of you that already know it. Or if you're a person that's looking to buy and hold. Now, if you're trying to look to buy and hold, I would say, especially now, I would try to look for a probate attorney. It's unfortunate, like, because of so many people losing their lives during the pandemic and stuff like that. But a lot of people have property and stuff that's went into probate and stuff because they died with no wills and stuff. So being able to reach out to a probate attorney in your area, looking up. Sorry, you want to say hi? Say hi. All right, I'm putting you down. All right, but looking for a probate attorney in your area and seeing if they're willing to help you get a piece of property you may be interested in. All right, and they usually would have a list of properties that are in probate. All right. That being said, one thing that I have seen this lady do, she actually had her property that she's already owned, but she had some land in the back. So what she did, she took a line of credit and she bought a tiny house. And so what she did, she rented out her main house, and she actually took the tiny house, I think everything with the foundation, electricity and everything, including the townhouse, including the tiny house, I think it was like maybe about $35,000, okay? So she took that line of credit and she put a tiny house on her property, so she stays in that tiny house while the main house she rents out for over $2,000 a month, okay? So with that actually pays for that house plus the line of credit and stuff like that. So when that tiny house is paid off, now she has that free and clear, plus the other people are paying for the house in the front, and she's able to draw equity out of that house to buy another piece of land. All right. Now, in terms of places, if you're trying to look at the tiny houses and you're trying to look for places to buy land and stuff, one of the places that the government lists a lot of land is on bidforassets.com. You go to Bid for Assets and look at the state and stuff, you'll see different places. The only thing I would tell you is to make sure that the land that you're buying is actually buildable, you know, or able to live on. Because some people, they would sell you land, but you can't actually do anything with it. So you don't want to get yourself put into that type of position, all right? Now back to these business lines of credit, you have Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo business line of credit, they pull FICO 9 Experian. One of the things that I would definitely tell you is when you open up your business account with Wells Fargo, make sure you're doing weekly deposits. This helps build up your business bank rating. Also, getting a business credit card. After you get your business credit card, using that for about 6 months, then I would probably approach Wells Fargo for a business line of credit. Some people, they do manage to get a business line of credit from Wells Fargo when they first open up their checking account because they have a high enough credit score and stuff like that. You know, if you have a high enough credit score, low debt to income ratio, and they see that, hey, the business you're going into, you have to make sure it's not a high risk type of business, then that may be an option for you, okay? Navy Federal, okay? So with Navy Federal, they offer a business line of credit plus a credit card, all right? But the thing about it, again, with Navy Federal, they pull Experian FICO 9, okay? They pull Experian FICO 9, but I would tell you with Navy Federal, at least open up the business bank account, put weekly deposits in the account for at least 90 days, okay? So start showing some business activity before I would go for that business credit card and business line of credit, all right? Then you have Divvy. Divvy pulls FICO 9 TransUnion. Now with Divvy, they've been changing up the game because Divvy used to have a business credit builder, and with that business credit builder you would do it as a secured account, but the account would still report to a small business exchange and Dun & Bradstreet, but they closed that down. So now they only have just their business lines of credit that they offer you, okay? So that's with Divvy. You have PayPal. Now PayPal has 2 accounts, all right? So with PayPal, they have the PayPal loan builder. You don't have to have an account with them, at least a 580 credit score. The income on that is, I think with PayPal, the income on the PayPal loan builder, you have to be in business at least a year, but your income is about $42,000 with the PayPal loan builder. Okay, now 9 months, excuse me, you have to be in business at least 9 months with the PayPal. All right, so if you have any other questions about business lines of credit, personal lines of credit, or removing negative things off of the credit file, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.